April 18th, 2025. It's the Very Terrible Podcast back on Riverside FM with Dave and Jason.
How's it going?
Hey, look at us. We almost look like we're professional here. So,
Almost.
yeah, we were doing the pre-show like we do. And then the conversation's getting really good. And we're like, we didn't even hit the record button. So we should probably do that.
Yeah.
Dave.
If you want to be a subscriber, you can get invited to the pre-show.
Oh, that would be good. We can do that. And the funny thing is, I think Josh from South Florida Lift Stations is sitting at home right now because he's already texted me a couple times about tomorrow. So I'm like, he's probably sitting at home. This is our first time with what I would call the paid subscription. So now we were on the free trial. Free trial went off to YouTube, and I got to say, I'm very disappointed in absolutely everyone because nobody put any feedback in. I feel like maybe you and I are the only two that actually watched it. Oh, see, I get text messages that come through. That's nice.
I participated.
Yeah. Well, so we watched the two. Riverside, the one that we're using, was, I think, better. It had full screens. Let's see. It's Bella checking in. Bella's off with her boyfriend today doing pre-Easter things. So she says hello. Yeah.
Up?
And then...
Spike on the mic?
What's that?
So what's up, Spike on the mic?
Yeah, Spike on the mic. Oh, back in the day with the volleyball and all the other stuff. And then Squadcast came along. Squadcast had bars on the top and bottom, and I didn't care for that. So we made the decision. We made the financial commitment. We went with Riverside FM, hoping to put on a product that now I'm going to save Dave gas money. He doesn't have to drive down here anymore.
Yeah, but I'm still going to come down there once in a while for that pizza.
Absolutely. Oh, you know what I should have done, what I didn't do? That's all right. I didn't do the audio version of this, but that's all right. You know what? This could be the pre-show. This is the pre-show, and then I could record the regular show. How about we do that?
Just hit record on everything.
I wonder if that will work.
I'm surprised Riverside doesn't just give you a straight audio stream that you could upload to Spotify.
You know what? I think it does. We're going to go with that because the only reason if I hit that 6 button again, the 6 button makes the echo on your side, and we're not going to do that. So we're going to I think Riverside does give me the audio, so we're going to go with that and just figure it out.
Put that on Spotify.
Yeah, right. I mean, this
for
is
our
all,
tens of fans.
and I'm telling you, well, thank God. I'm really glad that there are super fans that are here for the inception. Because someday, if this gets really good, they're going to be like, I was there in the beginning, and then we're going to get them a special T-shirt.
I'm starting to think your sister's our only fan.
I'll take what I can get. Hey, she's trying.
My brothers don't even listen.
I know that's really sad. Well, we have one of my buddies at work. His wife is starting her own medical advisement company, I would call it, and she's going to be a guest on the show. So she'll be able to tell us more about that when the time comes, but she wants to get more set up before it starts. So basically what we do is we have we hit the little hearts on each other on Instagram, and anything I put on Instagram she likes, and anything she puts on I'll like, and we're just emptily liking each other's posts. I don't even know if it helps an algorithm or not. But hopefully we get her on the show pretty soon. She said once she gets sets up that she'd like to be on. And then we have, not really, we're waiting for the verbal commitment from the local food reviewer for her to come on and come on to the show. We can actually get some interviews, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to set up some Twitter accounts and YouTube accounts and just start rage posting everywhere so people will just get mad at us and then they go check out the page.
Well, we have, I don't know how to use the Twitter account. That's the thing. I have it. If you go into our link tree, you can go to the link tree and then you can, let's see. I wonder if I put the QR code up to the link tree, you think people will click their screens? Probably not. It's worth a try, right?
So you should have the QR code in a little square on my screen.
Oh, you're right. That is the QR code. You try it. See if you can scan it with your phone.
Hold on. My $40 phone takes a while to boot up.
That's okay. Oh, it's not going to be $40 much longer, so.
Yeah, it says Linktree.
There you go, buddy. So there you go. That takes you to the link tree where our Twitter page is that I really don't use because I don't know how it works. I mean, I know the basics of it, but I don't really know how to do it. I got everything's there. And you can buy merch. You can buy your own merch now. You don't have to wait for me to send it to your house. You can just go on and buy it yourself. It's amazing.
Yeah. You don't have to pack it up in the dungeon.
I know. And then with the magnets and stickers, and we have a prototype of a hat coming. So with Sticker Mule, I've spent so much money with Sticker Mule. I have now been blessed as a tester. So they've given me transfer stickers, iron-ons, and they're going to send me like a hat. They just said, here it is. You keep the stuff. Oh, and then they sent me acrylic magnets the other day too. You keep the stuff. Just let us know what you think, and then we're even. So that's how much stuff I've ordered.
Where are all these stickers going?
They're on a shelf, and it absolutely drives B crazy. She gets so mad because I have them all obviously labeled of what they are and what's in there. Stickers, keychains, buttons, labels, now I got transfer stickers, all the other stuff. I mean, we have basically what we did 3 virtual seasons since we started doing back to the audio again. So I have different logos for different seasons. Like that's the season 1 logo. The season 2. The season 2 logo is the blue text. The season 3 logo is the one that you'll see on the bottom of the screen right there. And then I didn't like this. I have the 10-year. Actually, you know what I should do is I like the 10-year logo I did. There's the simple one with the white, black letters. That one turned out pretty good. But what I'm doing here is I'm going to make a bunch of background noise. So tomorrow is Easter. And as we do in the family household here, we have plastic eggs. And when I was a kid, we would hunt like real eggs. We would sit there and, we would color eggs, and they'd be single solid colors. They would not be striped. They would not be anything, because we had the paws, I think it was called. The kit had like the little bent wire hanger, and you dip the egg in. And that, let's see. Oh, Lori's texting. I'm going to say no for dinner.
The Plan B Easter kit.
Oh, it is too. We're going to type her back on the podcast. Now.
See, I grew up dirt poor, but my mom would do some stuff really good, and then she would do like the solid color, but then she'd get these like fancy bands that would go around the egg and somehow suck onto the egg. It was like a little like almost
foil?
It was almost like a plastic, like with different designs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it would like shrink wrap itself to the egg. It probably kills turtles, so they probably don't allow them anymore.
Either way, though, you went with real eggs, right? So what we have here are plastic eggs. And in the plastic eggs, I put money in the plastic egg, and then we hide the eggs around the house, and she finds it. Now, here's the part that's going to drive most everybody nuts. She goes through and she finds all the coins. She breaks all the eggs open. She tallies up all the money. Then we just go and give it to her in cash, and the change just goes back in the cup.
For Bella?
Yeah, and technically that was like change that she's been getting year after year, so we just basically pay her to look for her own eggs. And some of these aren't even eggs. Look at this thing. This is a cylinder. That's not an egg. That's not even egg-shaped. It's ridiculous.
Bella's about to drive. She's taking you for a racket.
Buddy, you have no idea. So, yeah, this is just... So this is what we do, and I'm trying to help save Lori time so she can do podcast stuff later, so she doesn't have to do this late tonight. So,
second question.
Yeah.
Who in the hell has change?
I know. That's the thing part. And the pisser is I can't get rid of it because I have to pay to get rid of it now. You can't take, unless you go to the store individually and I start bringing bags of change to buy groceries with, you can't take change to a bank anymore because the bank machine where you throw it in there and it does the change, it charges you. And I'm like, you fuckers you're going to take my money anyway. You're going to invest it. You're going to give me a minuscule return on a savings account, and you're going to do anything we want with the money anyway. But now I got to pay you to take the money. I said, to hell with it. So
if you got a bunch of it, can't you just put it in rolls and take it to the bank?
No, they don't. They don't accept. Well, I can only speak for my bank, right? So I'm part of a credit union, and they're fancy pants, Thinkies out banks. They do not accept rolled change. Publix doesn't accept rolled change anymore. Unless you're going to buy groceries, and then they got to break everything open, so they get all pissy about that. But yeah, I said the only way there was a guy on a video I saw went to Walmart and I go to the self-checkout machine, and the self-checkout machine has like a little bucket, and you can pour change into it, and it'll count it, and it'll put it toward your groceries.
There you go.
I'm going to start doing that at like 6:30 in the morning, so I don't slow up anybody else's day. But this is what we do with change now. So I've got like a bag of eggs. I got another bag over here on the ground, and I'm putting in change so I can pay my daughter to pick up her own money. It sucks to explain it out loud. It really does.
Yeah, just go get a bunch of ones and put $1 in each.
There's like 50 eggs. I'm not doing that. Or you know what I should do? I mean, she doesn't watch the show anyway. I should go in there, take 50 of her dollars out, put it in the eggs, and then she'd never know.
Spinner,
and then I'm not.
it's 2025. $50 is like 2 trips to McDonald's.
I know it is. I know.
God.
Still, you see these? You see this thing here? You see? I pinch it. I pinch that penny. I pinch it.
We all know. We're gonna start thinking you're from Israel.
But we just got done talking about how I overcomplicate everything. You know, I'm trying to live out my dream of being on the radio. So I go and spend an obscene amount of money on equipment that doesn't want to play nice with itself. And then I realize by getting on Riverside FM that it does everything with the push of a button.
Yeah, welcome to the future.
Stupid technology. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, so Easter is tomorrow. Busy week this week. FSU got shot up the other day.
Yeah, that was pretty scary. I've got a friend that's got a daughter that goes to FSU.
And now here's the weird thing, right? Because I don't know if this is what happened at work. We have a guy at work who has family up there, and they're on campus. They have like their own cell phone videos of the thing going down, like with the shooter in the video, and it's like the real stuff. It's not the news version. It's like, hey, this is an actual cell phone. The guy walked by a girl. She got shot in the butt, and she's laying face down on the ground, and her butt's bleeding. But I mean, she survived, obviously. But I'm like, that's the real video right there.
Yeah, you could usually find stuff like that on Reddit, but I don't seek that stuff out because I don't know. I don't want to watch that shit.
No, me either. I've seen too much of that stuff anyway.
You see enough of it at work.
Oh, my daughter has now texted, right? So live update. Beep, 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 beep. I don't even have a beep, beep, beep button, but if I did, she's allergic to freaking everything, right? So she got wrapped up in fire ants the other day. And now she just texts me a picture of her foot and says, "Is this okay?" I'm like, it looks like, no, it looks crap. This kid, I'm telling you, she is allergic to absolutely everything. And we actually learned something cool the other day, right? So if, Dave, you would know, but the listeners might not. Bee does not eat meat. And she doesn't do so for any like political reasons or anything like that. She got bit by what she thought was a spider. And let me see here real quick.
Was it a tick that makes you not want meat?
Yep, that's exactly what it is. We go to the doctor the other day for her newest of all her ailments. I'm gonna turn this beep off. That's probably what's bugging me the most. Yeah,
it sounds like the smoke alarm chime.
It is. Beep. Those are my favorite too. When I go on medical calls and they have that going on in the house, I'm like, oh, you're driving me nuts. Yeah. So she goes to a birthday party in the northwest corner of Cape Coral, next to a field. Gets bit by what she thinks is a spider. Gets cellulitis on the leg. Cellulitis crawls up. Takes a bunch of antibiotics. That's what you do. And taking the antibiotics, it kills the good stuff in your stomach. She couldn't eat right for a while. So, and then in doing that, had to go see doctors, and it was bad. Like, she couldn't use the bathroom right. It was a whole thing. And then one day comes out of left field and goes, I just don't want to eat meat anymore. We're like, at this point, go ahead and try anything. We didn't know what else to do. She stopped eating meat, and within 2-3 days, back to normal everything. Felt great, bathroom functioned normal, everything was normal, and I went, the fuck was that? How do you just decide one day you're not going to eat meat, and then all of a sudden it was right? So that worked out. We go back to the doctor the other day for the newest of her getting bit by fire ants, and we're sitting there explaining her medical history to the doctor, and like the doctor was kind of cool. Like Bella actually really liked him a lot. This guy sits there and he listens to the story, and we go through, well, we got bit by a spider. He goes, spider? He goes, did you see the spider? And Bella's like, well, no, but there was, we were in a field. He goes, that's a bunch of shit. Bella starts laughing. I start laughing. He goes, everybody thinks they get bit by spiders. Nobody gets bit by spiders. He goes, you got bit by a tick. And he goes, and he named the disease, whatever it is, and there's an actual name for it. And he goes, yeah. He goes, that's why. He goes, you won't eat meat because you're allergic to red meat. And he specified red meat, and we looked it up, and it's specifically red meat. But Bella gave up on pretty much meat altogether. It's been working fine. I mean, she eats soy products and Impossible Burgers, Impossible Nuggets, and all that stuff. To be fair, have you tried those?
No, I don't have my pronouns in my bio.
Well, for any other reason, for medically, if you ever had to take them, some of them are quite good. I mean, it's not meat, but at the same token, it tastes good. And you're like, besides the salt intake, the sodium intake's a little bit high. But otherwise, not, man. It tastes good. It's good. It's halfway good for you. And I'm like, oh, to hell with it. Go ahead and give it a run.
Yeah, it's called alpha-gal syndrome.
That's it. Yep. There you go.
A tick-borne food allergy causes individuals to become allergic to red meat and other products containing a sugar molecule called alpha-gal. This allergy is typically triggered by bites from a lone star tick, but other tick species have also been implicated. Huh. Yeah, I've heard of that. And then, because we have a lot of ticks up on our property in Tennessee, so it makes me super scared because I love me some meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my brother got bit by a tick up there and got Lyme's disease.
Oh, no. That's bad stuff, too.
And it's like, I don't think it really ever goes away.
No.
It just flares up, and then he's got to take steroids, and then it goes away. Then,
yep. Our next door neighbor has a family member with that Lyme's disease, and it's really sad because it's amazing how we cure a bunch of shit. We allegedly put people on the moon. We do all these things, and yet these tick diseases are just, you can't cure them. You get them, that's it.
Yeah, like Katy Perry allegedly went to space.
Oh, I love the tinfoil hat stuff with that.
I don't think,
I guess,
well, I was with it too, because I'm like, oh, these stupid conspiracy theories. Because usually it's like so bad that they, like, you get like secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
But then I was watching this guy's video, and he's pointing out all this stuff, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, holy shit. He's like, look at the hardware when they get in. There's no hardware on the door. And then when they land, there's hardware.
Ooh.
Like, you can see the bolts. And you're like... And then when they're inside the capsule, the windows are really close together. But then there's a video of Jeff Bezos running around the capsule like an idiot when they land. And he falls down, and the windows are like 3 feet apart. And you're like... Huh. What the hell?
Something about he opened a door and then he shut a door and then he had to have a special something open the door just for effect.
Yeah, they opened the door from the inside, and then he's like, "No, don't do that. We haven't turned the cameras on. I got to open the door with this tool and let you out."
Oh boy.
So, but yeah, they act like they're in space, but really, the effect of them like 0G is when they go up. They go up and then they're falling. So yeah. Like, they have the plane, and that's the funny thing, that the African-American lady was all, like, up in arms. She goes, because people were giving her shit about it.
Yeah, I'm an astronaut now.
She's like, astronauts don't have training for 0G. And everybody's like, actually, they do. They get in a plane, and then they dive the plane, and then they're in 0G for, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, which is also sketchy as shit too. I've seen that. I'm like, I don't even like going in regular planes. And you want me to go in one that's intentionally diving? No thanks. Who was the supermodel that was dating the pitcher from baseball? Kate Upton. They have one with Kate Upton in the 0G plane, and all of her niblets are floating around.
Oh,
so
that's convenient.
But, yeah, right. No, yeah, they had one of the guys was on the radio the other day when I was listening to the radio, and he had said, he goes, you do realize that no one's seen any amateur video of this rocket going up? Because you'd think if a rocket was going up, a lot of people with their cell phones would be out, and I guess at the time, I don't know if they have them since then, but nobody with like cell phone videos got this rocket going up.
I'm actually a pretty avid like rocket dork. Like, I watch quite a bit of that stuff on YouTube, and I follow some people that cover aerospace and all that stuff. But I think that site is pretty like off the beaten path. It's not like Boca Chica, Texas, where they do the Starship, or it's not.
You can't just walk 10 miles away and be there.
Somewhere in remote desert bullshit.
Almost Mexico.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying that it 100% was fake, because I haven't put my tinfoil hat on and went fully down the rabbit hole. Maybe that'll be next episode.
Yeah, well, you said exactly. You're not doing nothing tomorrow. You got nothing to do for Easter. You got any big plans for Easter?
I'm going over to Ashley's aunt's house.
Okay.
I today I made a cheesecake for the party,
Nice.
and because I'm tracking all my calories to help lose weight, because on this app, like you put all the measurements of all the ingredients in there, so and you put it all the measurements for all the ingredients in grams. So when you take a piece, you weigh it, and then it tells you exactly how many calories that piece of food is. It's pretty neat.
How the hell does it? Isn't it I mean, like if you put a piece of 10-gram cake next to a piece of 10-gram steak, it should have different calories.
It does.
But you just got to type in what it is.
You put it puts the individual macros for each ingredient in this app.
Oh damn.
Yep, and then like the whole cheesecake was like 7,000 calories.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh my god.
That's gonna be the first thing going though, because it's gonna taste the best.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I'm a whore for the old graham cracker crust, so I doubled that shit up, in pure David
Nice.
style, and then I took a whole tube of the cinnamon rolls, and I put the cinnamon rolls in a pattern inside the cheesecake pan, and then I made the cheesecake stuff and then poured it over that.
Oh, that sounds really good.
So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I've been really good on my diet, but I think tomorrow might go off the reservation.
Yeah, well, you got to have cheat days, and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's what a lot of the superstars there at work with their super calendar bodies, like they go through and they pick like a Thursday or whatever. And Thursday is their cheat day, so they'll go out and have burgers for lunch or the pizza for dinner or whatever they do. But yeah, they said you got to kind of wave it up and wave it down to get that rhythm broken, and it gives your body something to do. So
Yeah, I try
that's
to
good, man.
do like 30 days and then do a. The problem last time me and Ashley had like a cheat weekend when we did that. We did that live podcast or the live show with that the history that doesn't suck,
Yes.
which I think you would have friggin' loved that.
Yeah.
I think you would have really liked that.
All right.
But before that, we had our anniversary dinner, so it was like 2 cheat days in a row, and then it took me like a week to get back to where I was.
Yeah, that is hard. And in all fairness, I mean, like you guys seem like you're foodies. I mean, you take pictures of it and you review restaurants and you're kind of like all up in it, right? So,
Yeah, well, that's kind of slowed down since we started. Ashley's doing it too, so
yeah, that's
doing
good
the
for
whole
you.
calorie counting thing. Yeah, when you can't tie your damn shoes, you're like, I gotta pump the brakes.
Well, and the same thing. Since the last time we talked, I got the shots in my back.
Yep.
Yeah, so
How's
I
that
got the
going?
shots in my back, and then I screwed them up. So I went running after I got the shots in my back and made it way worse. So now I'm just not doing anything for like a few weeks until everything heals up.
Well, why don't you just, if you can, just like I just walk. I've heard that you burn the same amount of calories walking as you do running distance wise. You just get it done faster when you run.
Yeah, I have heard the same thing, and the only thing that's different for me is it's the mental part of it. By exhausting my body fast, I get that like mental clarity of okay, like the whole minutia of the day and all the stuff that happens. Like my brain just kind of goes oh, and it just clears off, and everything seems like so much clearer and more relaxed, and all the stress goes away. And it's only because my body's exhausted that my brain can stop and go okay, now we can focus on that. And then I love it. I love running, but running is starting to not love me, and that's the problem. But you are right though. My sisters told me that, and then one of the other older gentlemen that walk around the block is like, I don't know what the hell you're running for. You can just walk and do the same thing. That's how I end up hurting myself. So I got the shots. I waited like 2 or 3 days. I went for a walk, and I'm like, oh okay. Now I'm nursing a bad ankle, and I got the shots in my back, so I'm kind of a half of a mess. I walk along, and somebody's backing out of their driveway. So I kind of take a few steps, and I jog out of the way of this car that's backing up. And Dave, it felt great. I mean, it felt really good to jog. And I went, oh, it feels good to jog. Let's do that. 5 miles, right? And that's because that's in my brain. That's just what we do. So I go through miles 1 through 3 are fine. Mile 4 starts to get a little bit like things are starting to ache a little bit. I'm like, well, maybe I can make 5. We have a new family moving in on the corner. They are from North Carolina, and their dog's not on a leash. So I'm jogging along and I hear click, 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 click behind me, like, sounds like my dog. Wait a minute, that's weird. And there's this full-size boxer, like, right behind me. And I went, oh, but he was friendly as shit. He just wanted to fucking play. So I'm like, oh, God. And I kind of jerked myself around. I said, oh, hey, you got to go home. You got to go home. And then, like, the owners heard me, so they came out. And in doing that, in that twisting and jerking and then trying to get the dog backed up, the ankle took a shit, my back went bad, and I spent the next day just in nasty, nasty pain. And I went, I can't believe I just screwed myself up like that. So maybe you're right. I think maybe you're right. I just start going back to walking again, and it's good too for the dog. I'll take the dog out and let him walk a little bit, and then maybe Lori will want to go too.
Yeah, or maybe it's just a freak thing. You turned around and it kind of,
Yeah. Well, and here was the weird thing too. Now I went and I see a doctor. Now, doctors are more educated than I am by every stretch of any metric you want to pick.
Allegedly.
C's hang degrees is what I always say. But like I meet this guy and like immediately something's not right. Like he just seems like he's full of shit immediately as soon as I see him. And we could have been talking about any topic and I would have went, something's not quite right. And then we talk about my back or whatever. He's like, I'm just going to give you more shots. And I'm like, no. We don't want more shots. Want to actually be better. Because I know that the shots are just a temporary Band-Aid to try to help you get better and get that muscle built back up the way it should. And he goes, let me ask you, he goes, what do you think this is going to be? And I went, well, I'm looking for a solution that's going to be long-term. He goes, there is no solution. He goes, would you tell me right now that you have a 50% increase in less pain than you had before? I'm like, yeah, 50% is a pretty fair assessment. He goes, that's all you're going to get. He goes, you can't fix what you have. And I'm like, I have a sciatica issue. I've heard of all kinds of people fixing sciatica issues. So we left that last visit. I'm like, I am not confident I'm going to be going back to visit him much more. So
yeah, there's a lot of lazy doctors out there. They just want to write on that prescription note or refer you to somebody else. And they're just like general doctors they're just cattle mills. They want to see, they need their, visit numbers to be super high. It's just churn and burn all day.
yeah,
They walk in,
it's sad.
What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Like my old doctor, I had to go to that bastard 10 times before he'd refer me to ear, nose, and throat specialist about them. Like, it's been 4 years to get that surgery that I just had.
Ugh.
And he just kept giving me antibiotics. I was like, no, I've had this surgery before. Like, I know what it is. It's my nasal polyps. And he's like, no, we'll just give you antibiotics. And then it would go away for like a week. And he's like, see, I told you. And then it'd come back. I'm like, dude, just refer me to the damn ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Yeah. And that's the thing with the insurance, right? You got to jump through those hoops. We have a local health system down here that they have now turned their initiative to seeing the most amount of patients. The quality of the care is going way down because they've got to get these people in and out through the door. So because there's just a money making machine, and it's really sad because there's going to be a lot of people that don't get the best care or don't get what they need just for numbers on a chart, and it sucks.
Yep.
But that's it, buddy. Getting old is hell, and that's where we are. That's where we're at right now. It's just trying to fight off this whole getting old shit.
Yep, you just got to keep moving and keep taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, and then so next week I'll be heading up to North Carolina to visit Eric from Eric Gets a Haircut. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, I screwed up my back. I was really looking forward to him and I going out and running because he's been like running and doing these. What is he doing? Hikes, right? He talked about it on one.
Climb Mount Kilimanjaro or some shit.
Yeah, so I was kind of looking forward to going out and maybe jogging with him and stuff like that. And then I screwed up my back, so I said, hey, not for nothing. I said, I can't run. And he's like, well, what if we we're going to go do curls at thing. And I'm like, I think I could do curls as long as I can put my arms against something and I don't have to use my back. But I'm like, it sucks. Like, I'm getting old. I'm like, I can't do fun activities because I hurt all over. This whole birthday thing is bullshit.
I'm sure you'll be able to run again. It's just a matter of just being careful and, maybe if something runs up behind you, you gotta stop and just kind of,
Well, and the thing is, like, even with a dog, especially if you don't know the dog, I know if you square up, don't back down, and don't run away, the dog's going to take a half a second to try to size you up. So you got to figure out, in my job, I meet a lot of angry dogs that don't want you touching mom or dad, and you come in there to do your stuff. And I've been lucky. There's been a couple of them that have been pretty nasty aggressive, but I haven't been on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, when I go on my walks at the end of the road, there's this house that's got a fenced-in backyard, and they've got these dogs that I all I call them is demon dogs. Like these are like pit bulls that have been just eating raw steaks all day and like taking steroids because they're not pit bulls. I don't know what they are, but they're
Really?
like they must be 150 pounds.
Huh.
They're giant, and they got this tiny ass fence, and I'm like, these bastards, if they get out, like I've already got a plan. Like there's a canal like 50 yards up the road. I'm like, I'm just running and jumping off the bridge into the canal.
Yeah. I mean, you're there and you know, you can't bring Molly, you know, because, you know, Molly will get tangled up with them and that's not going to go well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't. I take her outside for walks, but I don't take her for long walks down the neighborhood because these idiots just let their dogs run around without a leash, and she's like, she's got that like passive aggressive thing where she's scared of other dogs. So if they come up and sniff her butt, then she tries to fight them, and then she cries when they go away. So she's a really confused person.
That's rough all the way around.
Yep, she wants a friend, but she doesn't know how to be a friend.
Yeah, same thing with mine. Yep, same thing with mine. It's my little Chihuahua is a complete asshole. You know, he wants to be nice and he wants to play with kids and stuff like that. But as soon as the kids come over, he like snarls at them, and I'm like, that's not what we do. That's not it at all. So,
yeah, good old Molly, and she's got that torn ACL. I mean, she doesn't really. It doesn't seem to bother her too much, but you know, I don't think she'd make it 3 miles.
No,
and she's like 80 pounds. I can't pick her up and walk her home.
I think she's too big for a baby carriage too. You put the dog in the baby carriage. Hey, good news. Lori just is. I hear the car pulling in, so she might be able to join this show if she wants, or maybe she doesn't want. I don't know. We'll find out. She just got back from meeting friends for dinner, so
cool. Why didn't you go? Or was it like a girls' night?
It's a girls' thing. No, yeah, I don't have any business doing none of that. And then I had to go set up all this over top podcast equipment. So somebody had to do that. What I think I'm going to do though is for this trip, because as we've discussed before, you know, not a big fan of flying, is that I'm going to, I guess maybe do some Instagram stuff because I'll have Wi-Fi on the plane, right? Yep. So I should be able to make videos or do something, you know, Instagram wise to, I don't know, bring awareness to my my disability.
You're gonna do it. You should just do like daily vlogs and put them in the stories.
Yeah, you're probably very right.
Because you said you did the one story and it got a bunch of views, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, it did too. It had cool background music. And Lori's here. Yay! She just walked by with all of her grocery bags.
People have short attention spans, so that, you know, to get them to buy into a 30 to a 3 hour podcast is
probably not going to happen. Yeah.
Unless,
you're right.
Unless they're invested, you know.
You're right.
This guy's super interesting. He pinches pennies and
he fills plastic eggs. He does those things.
Eggs for his 30-year-old daughter.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's what it feels like too. I said all the little kid things are just off on their way, and this is one of the last.
What's Bella doing with the? I donated some sort of.
Oh yeah, you did. Thank you so much. So, yeah, she will be. We do believe she'll be attending the high school where she attends middle school now, and she will be joining the JV dance team. So they had a dance team tryout, and there were 16 girls on this team. 2 of them graduated. So they're down to 14. There's supposed to be 2 vacancies. 15, 20 girls put in, I guess. And then at the end of it, you know, all these girls try really hard. They went out, they learned a routine, they do all this work. And then, what's that? You can come in. You want to say hi? Come on. Oh, you can say hi. Yeah, we're on the podcast right now. It's fine. You can say hi. They know who you are. You look beautiful tonight. Come on in here and say hi. There's your camera.
Oh. Hi, Lori.
Right there it is. Yep.
I like the dress.
Yep. So then, you know, and then all these girls tried really hard, and all they did was they just took the team from 16 down to 14. So none of these girls that, you know, wanted to get in could get in. But I guess their master plan is to come around and go, okay, you know what, we can now have a JV whole team with all the amount of girls that tried out. So all of the young ladies who tried out for that team, the ones that made it, they're now on this JV team. And there are financial commitments that come with that. So that's where the generosity that you and South Florida Lift Stations and my parents came in and helped her achieve her goal and, you know, really get her going as far as there's going to be uniforms and travel and food and a myriad of other financial things. And that's the one thing when it comes to kids and sports. I mean, we learned it a little bit with dance. We definitely learned it with volleyball, and this was probably be another thing. It's hard for parents, and there's going to be a lot of parents that really are going to have a hard time making ends meet.
So, like on the varsity team, once you're on the team, say you're a sophomore and make it onto the varsity team, you're locked in until you graduate?
I can't answer that. I would assume so. I would think so. I think if you have the skill set to get to that level and you've learned the routines, I don't think the routines really change that much because the dances are done on a thing with beat count, not necessarily the song. When we do the football games, we'll be up in the booth, and then the coach for the dance team will give the sound guy a list of the songs that she wants. And those songs will change, but the dances don't. So they'll have like a country song, and the country song will have them with their cowgirl hats on, and they do some twirls and things like that. That song will be a different song, but the beat count will be the same. So all their steps and stuff always match.
Oh, it's like the same cadence or whatever?
Yeah. Yep, that's what it is. So I think once you get that part down, the music is just, they'll change it up for the fans more than they will for the girls.
So hypothetically, I joined this team. I'm in high school.
Yeah.
I'm a sophomore. I'm spindly 98 pounds, but
yes.
Then I'm a senior. I'm ready to party. I've been hitting the McDonald's, and the frat boys want some juicy girls.
Yeah.
You get up to like 200 or 300 bills.
Yeah. Now you're on the bottom of the pyramid.
You're the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah.
You're the anchor.
Yeah, you're the base. I don't know. I'm sure there's a scenario. I mean, hey, let's go down the rabbit hole. You got into a car accident and you lost your leg. I mean, what do you want? We can think of a scenario where you wouldn't be on the team anymore. I mean, or hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Grades would be a thing. Like, yeah, you can't keep up your grade average. You're not on the team. So
yeah,
you can have that.
A lot of organizations do that. Like, you got to have at least a C average or you're out.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it is an educational organization. So you are there to learn, and you are there to maintain that stuff. And the sports are the bonus. The teamwork, the responsibility, the camaraderie, that's the bonus that you get, but you still do have to maintain a grade point average. So I could see that that'd be the most likely scenario. So then you'd say, right, you got a vacancy that comes up on that team, then you would go through and, I don't know, I'd assume do another tryout, giving priority, I guess, to the junior varsity girls who probably already know the same routines.
Well, yeah, you'd definitely pull from the junior varsity team, but you'd probably, that coach would, in theory, know, okay, these are my 5 strongest girls, go up there and try out.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. And I think that's, so, but this will be a whole new experience. And, we got the football schedule.
Turn it to David and Jason manage a dance team podcast.
Podcast, yeah. What's up with the dance? Well, and funny you mentioned that, right? So it was last season I brought it up to the high school that said, they had a football team, and I went, do you guys want to have a sports team podcast? They've got every sport, baseball, football, wrestling, they've got basketball, all these big sports. Why don't we have a sports podcast? I go, I could do it for volunteer hours. They don't have to financially compensate me, things like that. And that idea just kind of fell by the wayside. They have a Facebook page, they have a Instagram page that, like, sometimes a parent will hop on and put something in, but there's no real traction with it. So I think as the school grows and as the teams get better, then possibly those ideas might have some traction, but at this time they really don't. And we got the schedule the other day for the football team, and unfortunately, because they are in the inception phase of getting their own football field, they have to borrow a football field from a neighboring middle school that they don't, there's only 3 home games. So I'm really kind of up the creek there as far as I've only got 3 home games to call. So I'm really hoping they don't get rained out or anything like that. What I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can hear that in the background, all the things clinking. Let's go play. We're going to play Josh's commercial, and I'm going to go shut these rolly doors real quick, and I will be right back.
All right.
This episode of the Very Terrible Podcast is brought to you by South Florida Lift Stations. For all your lift station sales, service, and maintenance needs, call Josh at 239-707-3603. South Florida Lift Stations, the official sponsor of the Very Terrible Podcast. The Very Terrible Podcast can be found on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, YouTube, and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the Very Terrible Podcast, you can message us on Facebook, Instagram, or email us at jdvtpodcast@gmail.com. I didn't catch the beginning. Did the beginning sound okay? I think the volume was kind of...
The volume was kind of low, and then I think you should have muted your mic because it got really loud.
Oh, shit. The thing with the doors, the rolling doors. You're right. See that? Well, then I get paranoid because if I mute my microphone, it wouldn't echo. Then that's just the other one. Every amateur horse piss, buddy. Every damn time.
Hey, we got to work out the kinks, but now we're on a pretty good cadence of doing it, maybe once a week almost.
Yeah, and then like I said I should continue having my Saturdays off. So then I'll always have, as long as I always have my Saturdays off, we'll be fine. Speaking of Saturdays, big news, Lee Corso announced his retirement.
Well,
so I don't know if you watch College Game Day or not.
No,
but,
honestly, I've trimmed my sports tree I've almost chopped that bastard down.
Huh.
I mean, I got it down to where I was almost only watching MMA, and they raised it. My inner spinner. They raised the price of those pay-per-views to like $70 or $80, and then there's like one every week, and I'm like, I can't afford to even be a fan of this.
Yeah. Well, it was funny as I was looking up the Tito Ortiz stuff. As he has his restaurant down here in Cape Coral, and I guess he has all the pay-per-views on at his restaurant, and as long as you're eating, you could watch the pay-per-views. So, man, that's pretty good.
Go hang out with that bumbling fool.
Yeah, I cannot imagine the amount of drunk people that want to fight him, like thinking they can.
Yeah, he's a tough bastard, but
oh yeah.
The thing is, he was my favorite fighter of all time. And then he became an announcer, and I'm like, oh, he's not bright. He's either been punched in the head too many times.
Can you imagine? I mean, the amount of times he must have been hit in the head with concussions. We worry about football players. You're actually getting punched in the head.
Yeah. Well, MMA is not as bad as boxing because MMA, you've got ground game, and they get those little tiny gloves, so if they do hit you, you're probably just going out. Where if they got 20-ounce boxing gloves, you're just mini concussions for 12 rounds, just and it's just to the dome for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he could still be your favorite. You could get a picture with him.
Yeah, I'll pass.
And he'll deliver your food to your table, which is actually kind of the weird part. Like, and he advertised it like that. He goes, if you come on down to the restaurant, I'm going to bring your food to the table. Okay.
He's got the biggest head on the entire planet.
Yeah.
But
yep.
He wants to outlive his kids. And then
man.
He trains I train 3 days train this 3 days here and 12 days here, and then that equals 7 days a week. And everybody's like, what?
On average, he said.
Oh, there's whole compilations on the internet. I send them to you all the time of just him just talking stupidness. I know we're losing our chance to hang out with him, but he probably doesn't listen to the podcast anyways.
Well, not yet. I mean, what am I supposed to do now if I go down there and like put a sticker on a keg, or if I do something? Now he's gonna be like,
it's your chubby sidekick.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna challenge him. Like, I challenge you to a fight, and I'm just not gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you I'm bringing you to dinner. I'm gonna tell him there's a fight.
I say he's not smart intellectually. I would highly advise not doing that.
Yeah. And then I think his kids go to school at Bella's school. I think they do. Because he lives in that corner of town, so I don't see why he wouldn't. But
yeah, I mean, I've heard he does a lot of stuff for the community, and I think he means well.
Yeah. I mean, he should be the first guy that wants to come and see a firehouse. I'll have him come over.
Yeah, he's like, my buddy Dave was your biggest fan, but now he thinks you're dumb.
Show him what's up. Let's do some math.
Yeah, then he breaks my arm.
That's what you get. That's what
Thanks,
you get.
Tito.
Oh, man. I don't know. What else you got, Dave?
I didn't know you. Are we done with the FSU sad shooting? I really don't know much details about that. Other than
either. I don't think they're out yet. And you know what the funny part is? With every event like this, the speculation is always wrong. It started as 6 people dead, then 5 people dead, and now it's only 2.
Yeah, I haven't. Looking at a news article now, there's not much, you know.
Yeah, I don't think they put out the details of like they said. I remember them saying something about how the shooter was affiliated with the school, but the hard part is they're just going to politicize the hell out of it. I mean, it's a sad event. It sucks, but they're going to use it politically. Everybody's going to use it to their advantage, so they're going to blow some things out of proportion. But then the initial reports are always off. But we were talking about the cell phone videos. Yeah, people with their actual cell phones, and then versus the news footage and the stuff that you get told at the end of the night that's supposed to be facts.
Yeah, I was watching one of the videos that YouTube people that I subscribe to, and they were saying that there was a video of one of the students there filming another girl that was shot as she was drinking her Starbucks and just walked by and didn't help her.
That's the video. Yeah, that's the one. That's the news video I saw of that. Yeah, there's like this body on the ground, and she's like, Starbucks cup, and then just keeps going. I'm like,
See,
people are fucked up.
I'm no hero, but if you see somebody that needs help, I don't know how people don't help them. I don't.
The one thing I will say when it comes to not helping is that we live in a very litigious society. And
There's a law now that like, what is it? The Good
Samaritan law.
Yeah.
And it's always existed. However, you've still got to go through a court process for them to rule on it. And what if you're wrong? And that's the thing, is people are afraid of getting sued. And it is sad. People will walk by and not help or not put themselves in danger. And granted, putting yourself in danger is not for everybody, but
yeah, I don't think it's I think it's just people are so disconnected with reality. Like, they just stare at their phones all day, and like, they're like, I'm living through an event, and they just don't know how to react.
yeah.
Even watching the interviews, like, I've seen a couple of interviews of the students that were there that, witnessed it or whatever. And short of what happened, it was just painful to watch them speak. Like, these kids are in a I heard it's pretty hard to get into FSU, and I'm like, these kids are allegedly smart, and they can't even speak correctly.
Yep, absolutely, yeah. And a lot of the experience I've had with the college kids were the sports athletes, which are even below that. So a lot of them are not bright. And if you're good at sports, they will help you do your homework and they'll help you take your tests because they need to get butts and seats for ticket money. And that's where that kind of boils down. But you're absolutely right. It is, you can be book smart and street stupid. So.
Yeah. I don't think you're really an adult till you're like 25. Because when I was 19, I was an idiot.
Oh, we all were. Absolutely.
So.
But at the same time, and then it's hard, because then there's, and at 18, they're sending you off to war, and you're getting your first life experience, getting yelled at and shot at and doing that and all other stuff, but you can't come back and buy a beer, and then that turns into the whole other series of debates that has lasted longer than you and I have been alive. So it is hard.
Oh, my wife said that there was more evidence or stuff that came about, like Gene Hackman, about the living conditions of the house were horrid, and
yep.
I guess there was a
hoarder house.
Rodents everywhere. I guess they were just both had dementia and were just bumbling around the house together.
Yeah, it was pretty sad, really. And the weird part is that nobody checked on them. You're Gene Hackman. You'd think you'd have a circle of Hollywood friends that would check in once in a while. And hey, we watched Hunt for Red October, or what the hell was he in? Crimson Tide. Yeah, we just watched Crimson Tide again, and all that shit. But nobody checked on him. I didn't really. I saw little clips here and there, and I didn't even care to even watch them. I skipped right by it because I like Gene Hackman. He was a really great actor, and to see how it all ends is just really sad. But I mean, hell, even down here, Screech was the same thing. Granted, Screech was a child actor but in the 90s, he was a big deal, and he was in a little crack box Cape Coral house, deader than a doornail, ate up with cancer, and nobody gave a shit besides his girlfriend. It was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, the end of life, it can be pretty sad if you don't have people there to help you. And, we don't have kids, and people are like, who's going to take care of you? I'm like, I probably will have dementia, and I'll just shit myself somewhere and die.
You're going to go fishing and fall off the kayak, and that'll be it. But what a great way to go, though.
Yeah.
You'll forget to paddle, and some gator's going to come up and get lunch.
I mean, I'd prefer to probably go out in my race car, but just because I think that'd be cool.
No, it's not run. Is it running yet? I saw it on the trailer the other day.
Yeah, I was working on the door. We got to redo put in all the wiring and stuff now that we got the cage in there. But maybe
So for the super fans that don't know, your car's name is Susan,
Susan. Yep.
and Susan does not have her own Instagram page, which is really odd. You think she would?
Yeah, I'm just not. I mean, I like racing, but it's not my identity per se. Like I have car racing friends. Like that's their default. I mean, at one time my car was my default picture on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I'm like I'm not my car. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't define who I am. And if you want to race really hard, you don't have any money. So,
Right. Yeah.
so this is it'll probably be hopefully before, knock on wood, this winter I'll get it going and then get back to racing. And then once it's running, then hopefully it'll stay running for a while. But you know, knock on wood, if the engine doesn't blow up, it should last a while. But I plan on blowing it up.
Yeah. But it's a fun hobby. You enjoy it, and you work hard for your money, and you have the disposable income to do it. So I mean, it all checks out.
Yep, and I really did it to hang. I've got my friend Paul and a couple other car friends, and I did it more to hang out with them. And now it's turned into, he's he's not legally married, but he's virtually married, and it's like got shit going on, and so it's like, I'm out in the garage working on it by myself. It's not the same as it used to be when we were kids. I'd always
Everything's like that, bud. I think, look at us. We used to go play video games and do all that shit all the time.
Yeah, I used to go over to his house like every night after work, and we'd spend. It wasn't a ton of time. We'd spend 2 or 3 hours working on the car, but we got shit done fast. We'd rebuild a whole car or more of him. He's an animal, but I got to learn a lot and figure out. You don't have to pay somebody bazillions of dollars to do it if you could do it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I would do it all over again, I would just gut my car when I got it and then put the cage in it and redo it. But then I bought it, put a shitty, Ray Charles cage that I fabricated up in there, determined that's not safe. So we tore that out, then sent it to somebody, and then I got stuck there for 4 months. It's called chassis jail, which, I found some kid he's actually super talented. I feel bad for what he charged me to do that cage. And actually, if it certifies, I'm going to go to the track. You got to go to the track and have it inspected.
Right.
They got to look at all the welds and make sure everything's to spec or whatever.
Be good advertisement for him.
Yeah. Well, I told him, I was like, if it certifies, I'm going to give you like an extra, $400 or $500.
Oh, that's nice.
Just because like what he charged me is stupid. Like
Is that low? Yeah.
it was like 3 times less what like a actual shop would charge me. And like I've had so many bad experiences in the car industry of buying used stuff from people, and you open it up and it's not even what they told you that what it was. And I'm like, Paul found this kid on Facebook or something. He's up in like Braden, Kentucky, Sarasota area, bad part of town. He's got this little shop that's like he's borrowing a bay, or he's renting a bay in somebody else's shop, and I'm like, it's a 50-50 shot of even getting my car back, let alone getting it back done.
Right.
Not saying that he would steal it, but I'm like, this is a shitty neighborhood. Somebody's just gonna scoop this bitch
Yeah, he
up.
parks it outside, and all of a sudden he comes into work tomorrow and it's not there.
Yeah, like he seemed like he is a cool kid, but he got it done pretty quick. But then we had to build headers for it, and because the cage comes down and it's actually encapsulates the whole car, so it goes under the car, so it's like an actual exoskeleton under there. But then the headers that I had wouldn't go back that way, so then we had to build that. Spending that much money turned into spending more money to build custom headers. And I just bought brand new headers before I sent them. So.
And I don't imagine there's much of a resale value because your car is pretty specific, so you can't really just go down to the track and offload your shit. So.
Yeah, most people in the drag racing stuff, it's called the LS motors. It's like the newer generation motors, and I'm an idiot and use a Gen 2 LT1, which was like 93 to 98, GM stuff. It's kind of like a niche little thing that not a lot of people use. So it's got hardly any resale value.
Yeah. That sucks.
Unless you find the one-off guy that's got the same goofy shit you got.
There you go. And then, so that could be the spin off of the podcast is the GTL1
Yeah, the LC
Antichrist.
one.
Nice.
But looks like I was trying to see if I don't think Yoko Ono's died yet.
No, no.
So she's up there chilling.
Couple of real, I wouldn't say no names, but a couple of people that we do not have on our list had passed away, and like nobody I recognize. You know, one singer, one actor, and I was like, oh, a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, and Pope Francis is pulling a Jesus and coming back to life. So.
Mm-hmm. Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah. He said, "Not today, not today."
I don't know.
I've got to be God's mouthpiece for a few more years.
Well, you got to figure he's got a seat in the front row whenever he makes it. So
does he?
I'd say, well, you know, if you omit all the stuff that they cover up, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. We're all equals in the eyes of God.
Sure.
And all
it
that.
Depends on which one you pick.
Yeah,
it depends on which one you pick.
Yeah, that's the whole sad thing about religion. It's like, you know, there's 100 different religions in the world, and most of them, if you don't believe in that God, you're going to hell forever.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that something? I mean, somebody's got to be wrong.
Yeah. Like 98% of the population on the earth.
Yep.
Are praying to the wrong God.
Yeah. Well, and it was you know, you meet a lot of people that are really heavily religious, and I'm always wondering, like, I kind of want to be a fly on the wall when, like, you know, we have a couple of guys at work who are really big into church, and I'm like, I wonder what happens when a Jehovah comes to their house. And it's like, do they square off with them, or do they say no thank you, or do they just, you know, I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I think you just say, you know, they quit coming to my house for some, maybe I'm on a list.
No, I went off on them. They came in my house once, and we lost a firefighter who took his own life. One of the main reasons is because he was part of the Jehovah's Witness group, and the sins that he had participated in exiled him from the church. And because he was then exiled from the church, his family didn't talk to him, his church didn't talk to him. He had to, like, I mean, his whole world came out from underneath him because of whatever he did, and he had no one to talk to, and he ends up taking his own life. And I'm like, this is completely screwed up. So they came back over to the house, and they're like, "Oh, we'd like to talk to you." I said, "I'd like to talk to you about it." And I mentioned him by name, and I went, "Hey, this guy was part of your group." And they looked at each other and went, "We're just going to leave you alone." And then they just left, and they never came back. So I would imagine there's like a magic list of some sort.
Yeah, I bought this whole sign that I was going to put out front. I forgot. It says, like, "Do not knock on my door. I'm going to shoot you with a squirt gun." You know, and I bought the whole squirt gun, the whole nine, but the wife pumped the brakes on it. So
no, that's no fun. It was a squirt gun.
I know.
Were you going to put water in it or hot sauce?
Yeah, I was going to put water with maybe food coloring.
Yeah. Ruin your church clothes.
You know, one night I got really intoxicated with my old roommate Matt, and we went to I think it was Walmart. We bought a bunch of those glow sticks.
Yeah.
And we
broke them open.
We broke them open and put them in squirt bottles. Or squirt guns, and then we played like water gun fight in the middle of the night. So it was like,
and it sticks to everything.
It's kind of like no, it's more of like water, but it was like we were shooting predator blood at each other.
Nice.
That was a pretty fun night.
Well, and then especially when you're up in Tennessee, and do you get the lightning bugs where if you squish a lightning bug in your fingers, like your fingers will glow for a little bit?
I've never did that, but there is a lot of lightning bugs, and my brothers, actually Rusty and Derek, are both up there right now. I told Derek, I was like, go up on, because my brother's got the damn camp lit up, like, you know, you can probably see that place from space at night. You know, he must be scared of the bears or something. But, you know, I was like, just walk up in the pasture and get away from camp, because camp's down in this little valley. Mm-hmm. And then just look up in the sky, because you could see like so many, there's no light pollution there, and you could see like the whole Milky Way.
That's amazing.
And if you just look up for like every 2 minutes, you'll see a shooting star.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's out of control. And he's like, no, we're doing that right now.
Yeah, and we had that during the hurricane because nobody had power, and like the generators weren't ripping yet. Yeah, you'd walk outside and you're like, oh, this is what the sky looks like.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
It is. It is really cool, and it makes you feel bad. You're like, God, people screw up everything. Or like when you go on a cruise and you go down into the Caribbean, and you see what color the water's supposed to be, and you're like, oh, it's really blue, and ours isn't. we we screwed that up too.
Well, that's the whole diverting Okeechobee.
Yeah, it is. It is. I had to explain that to Lori's family came down, and they're like, well, we want to go to the beach and those stuff. And then I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what the water's supposed to look like unless you go an hour north or an hour south or to the other coast.
Yeah, it's supposed to go down and get filtered through the Everglades and just kind of,
Yeah.
dump out in those marshes. But they dump them right into the rivers, and then the rivers just dump it right into the Caloosahatchee, and then the Peace River. I don't know if it goes directly into the Peace River, but the Charlotte Harbor gets real. Charlotte Harbor's always been real dark.
Yeah.
Charlotte Harbor can get clear if you have like a long period where it doesn't rain. It'll get pretty clear.
Like right now, it should be pretty good.
Yeah. I just haven't been out because it's been. I don't know what if it's always been like this, but it's so windy out.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing, right? Because it's usually windy in the wintertime. Because you'll get the nice temperatures with the wind, but in the summertime, there's no wind, but it's 212 degrees out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to get back with you and go to that spot we went for the on Pine Island where we went to the tournament and catch. I usually always catch one big redfish in that one spot.
Yes.
I've
Yep.
got a trolling motor hooked to my red kayak now, so.
Well, that was Pineland Marina, right?
Yep, we that little ramp maybe half mile before the marina.
Absolutely. Well, let's just set it up. You let me know after the show's over and on a day that works for you, and we'll just go and do it. Because if I don't commit to it, you got to make me go out and do it. So
Yeah.
no, I'm in because it's only I think $20 to use the ramp over there. So we put them both in the back of my truck, go down $20, put them in, and you're done.
What happened to the free one?
Oh yeah, the free one that's always full. Yeah, we could try that one too. Last 2 times I've been there, I took out B once, and then I went out once with my dad, and it's been like once a year. It was 1 year it was B, and the last year before that it was my dad, and I'm like, you know what? Here's the $20. Just it's only another maybe 150 yards further to the north. It's not like it's that far away. So I'm like, to hell with it. Just here's your $20. I can park my truck, and nobody's gonna mess with anything.
Yeah, as you're over there putting coins in plastic eggs.
I gotta be able to afford the Easter. Oh my gosh! And then there's the super eggs. So we got super eggs, and the super eggs I guess are gonna have coupons or cash or something. Not coupons is a bad word.
Vouchers.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, Lori will have one. It says you go to the store and pick a book, or you go and get something, and there'll be prizes involved. It's like second Christmas.
I miss those. What was it when you were kids and you'd read a book and then you get a voucher for a little pizza?
Scholastic Book Fair or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you walk down there and you got your Lamborghini poster and your Goosebumps books, and you're on your way.
The Goosebumps books were they actually came out with a like a TV series not too long ago, and Ashley told me that they're gonna make a different season of it, but it's kind of geared towards kids, but I watched it and I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's old is new again. It goes through enough time, and then the kids don't know, and they were good stories. And they said they had a good setup. Hell, they use it again. They're doing it with movies. Yeah. I saw that they already remade every Disney movie. I saw a commercial today. They're remaking Doctor Who. I mean, we've already remade it twice. Let's just do it again.
Yeah, they lost me when they did the whole Spider-Man thing, and then they made it to where they acted like they cut out like a certain part of the timeline. They acted like that didn't happen, and I'm like, you lost me.
Yep.
You lost me.
They ruin it. There's no new original ideas.
But I'm a big Aliens fan, and they're about to come out with like a whole new series and a couple new movies. So
nice.
I'm pretty stoked about that.
Nice. Yeah, movie theaters. I mean, we haven't been to a movie theater in a long time. And when B was little, they used to have like the discount summer movies. They'd play like movies from the 90s and stuff. You pay like $5 and just go sit there and watch it. Give Bella something to do. But even now, like, we don't do that anymore. And then like there's a Minecraft movie out, but I don't even know how much a movie ticket would be.
The only thing I know about the Minecraft movie is something about thunder chicken, and then you throw your popcorn in the air or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, a bunch of people screwed up. It was overseas or something like that. Everybody they destroyed a freaking movie theater or
I think it was
something.
I think it was in America. I think it was a
Was
college
it?
campus or something.
Ugh, terrible.
But yeah, there's like a really nice theater up in Sarasota. It's like a bistro theater where you get. I think you order food before you go in there, then they bring your food during the movie, and
Oh, I'm in. That sounds
yeah,
like a good one. That says so we got the regular one on Del Prado and Cape Coral, $13.75 a ticket, while adult tickets after 4 p.m. are $16.
I remember when I was like 19 or 20. There used to be the dollar matinee movies in
Mm-hmm.
Venice.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's like if you go to North Fort Myers where everything costs a little bit less. That let's see, I remember buying like $4 or $5 movie tickets there, but does not say a price. I don't know. At some point too, it's like, you got to go to the movies. I don't want to go anymore.
Yeah, we're getting old. We're like everything's so expensive, and I was like, they're like that's normal price.
Yeah, and that's what's happening.
I
Yeah, and
found
then
these shirts on Amazon that I really like. They fit. It's not like you could buy those Fruit of the Loom or whatever, just generic shirts, and they just fit like shit.
yes, yep.
So I found these really nice shirts on Amazon, and I ordered them, and they're $25, and I thought it was like a pack of four. No, it's just one shirt.
Oh no.
And Ashley's like, I was like, $25 for a shirt. She goes, that's what shirts cost. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
That's why you can go on Sticker Mule and get yourself your very own Very Terrible Podcast shirt for $19. Just like that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful design.
Actually, that's pretty good.
And they're soft. I mean, they make a soft shirt.
Yeah. No pricklies.
No pricklies, no tag on the neck. That tag on the neck thing drives me nuts. So yeah, there's no tag on the neck. And I said the logos, they're going through it. I've washed this shirt a dozen times. It looks brand new still. So,
Yeah, I like it.
yeah, it's good company. It's working out.
That's what I gotta get me a hat next.
Yeah, well, and that's what'll happen. So if the design works out and they send them out to all of us people to review them, we review them. If it says go, then the only thing I noticed was, now let me see the back of yours. Let me see the
My
back of your
shirt?
hat.
Or
Your
the
hat.
hat?
Yeah. Yep. So that's what and it might not be sized, but it's going to be that mesh in the back where, like mine, I like the solid cloth in the back, like the flex fit, and then so it's going to be more like yours than it's going to be like mine. But the first one came out, and it was just the whole podcast logo was across the whole front. So I said, no, don't send me that. Take the podcast logo, shrink it down, and put it on the side. And then so that's going to be the draft for that. So we'll see. And it's not. I mean, it's not a hard idea. I guess you just need a special machine to put it on the curvature of the hat. And I've been asking them too. Is like I've been talking to them. I'm like, I want logos on the backs of the shirt, like bigger logos on the back, small on the front, big on the back. I think they'll sell a lot more shirts that way. So we will see. I don't have.
Does that increase the cost or?
Well, let's say it does. I mean, I if it's 19 for one that's just with something on the front, and you can get like the whole front done for the same price, but like I'm not a fan of a big logo on the front.
No. And then like, especially if it's like the vinyl print or whatever, like
Yeah.
after you wash it like 3 times, it starts to crack and fall off, and yeah, that's not bad.
That's
Kinda
not really
subtle.
focusing very well. But yeah, like I said, the first draft was just a huge logo in the middle. And I said, no, I'd rather have it on the, I think I said I asked him to put it on the right side. So, or that one's going to be on the left side. Yeah, so that'll be on the left side. So it'll be like over there, just a little guy. That's all it is, just a little guy. Make you get up close to me so you got to talk to me about the podcast.
Yeah.
So, we will see.
And if you're interesting enough, we're not famous enough yet. You can come on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like the next step, right? We got to find interviews to do. But now that we have the subscription to this will help out. We just send the link to somebody else and they could just join in, and we could beat up an interview. And I know that there's behind the scenes work, and I think I think the first interview will be Josh. I think we'll bring Josh on, tell us about South Florida lift stations, tell us about what lift stations are, what they do, and how they work. Give us some fun stories about probably poop, and we'll just take it from there.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
yeah,
I want to do like how they do the ride along with a cop for a day.
yeah.
It'd probably be fun to go ride along with him for a day.
Oh, and then there you go. I'll tell you what. If you want, I can volunteer you. We're gonna go have Easter dinner together tomorrow.
I'm
I will.
scared.
Well,
I don't know.
it's
Do
funny
they
you
work
mention
on the
that.
weekends, or
What's that?
do they work on the weekends?
No.
Oh, then maybe I won't.
No, yeah. Well, no. Actually, you know what? There's some of the guys go on call on the weekend, so maybe we can make an arrangement where you can go with like his kid or something like that, and just go on call. I bought a mount for my car, so I can put my phone in the car, and I can do kind of like what you do with the driving around and looking at people how bad they drive.
Yeah, some road rants.
Road rants. Oh, and it's been really bad. Just really bad lately, too. I mean, just nobody gives a shit about blinkers, and just the complete disregard for safety and speed limits is just... it hit the news. The city of Cape Coral put in cameras with the automatic license plate readers at the school zones. They gave out... It's $100 a fine. It is, and it's... I got so I asked them. I said, "Is it $100 for like 5 miles over? It's 10. Anything that's 10 miles over the posted speed limit." And I go, "So what about if you're going 50 over?" She goes, "It's the same $100." I'm like, well, in that case, if I know I'm going to get speeding, I'm going to go 200 miles an hour through the school zone because it's the same $100. But I think they reported out they issued, now not paid, but they issued out $179,000 worth of tickets or fines in the first week. And we've got like 6 school districts with, each one's probably got like 3 buildings, and then they got cameras on all of them. And $179,000 worth of fines in 1 week. And I went, oh, completely nobody gives a shit about school zones.
No.
So.
No, where I go on my walks, there's like half of where I walk is a school zone, and people are they're just hauling the mail.
Yep.
And I'm like, you guys are lunatics.
Yeah. And the hard part is you unfortunately somebody usually has to get hurt before something changes. And these kids, and the same thing. Here's the kids, right? They're just driving along with their cell phones. They don't even look up.
Yeah, it's like when I'm walking, and I look at my phone while I'm walking on the sidewalk, but I'll see them like walk across the street, and I'm like, you're not even looking for cars. You're gonna get ran slap over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then your old man comes out and you start hollering at him.
Get out of the road, you sons of bitches.
Oh, man. Well, Dave, we have been on for 1 hour and 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Great job, again, as always. Oh, man. Well, I got to go see my wife. I got to see her. I want to see how her dinner was, and then see if she wants to get on and do some stuff. We'll have to find out.
Yeah. Film it.
Well,
Holy
Dave and everybody at home, happy Easter. Hit the button. Thanks again to everybody for joining. I am Jason.
And I'm David.
It's been another very terrible podcast.